Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean, stacking the money green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use a promo code JUICE150 and you got yourself a $1,000 risk-free bet. Let's go. All right, coming off a 2-2 day, but made some money, 0.15-ish units up, so that feels good thanks to the Steelers. 2-1 on the NFL preseason games. Didn't hit the UFC prop at plus 350, but it got it overall. Pretty amazing sweat through the entire slate. So again, if I'm getting a sweat, win or loss, I'm pretty excited. I'm feeling the juice. Let's go, baby. All right, get to it. Colts, they lost 27-26 to the Lions, but they got the cover plus 3. Jack Cohn had a nice drive to end the game and really a dime for a late touchdown there. I don't know where that was in the college game, but man, he looked sharp there on that last drive, and the hard knocks curse continues for the Detroit Lions as they win, but they of course don't get the cover, and that's all that matters in sports. Thankfully, they did go for 2 there because they were catching the plus 3, so that worked out nicely. Although probably would have worked out regardless because 27-27. Although, if they tie it, then maybe, maybe they're more. Maybe the Lions are more motivated to kick a field goal. I don't know. I'm just glad got the win. Commanders, they lost outright. I was risking a little bit, little dog there. It's a tiny dog. Or maybe it's a big dog, plus 175 on the money line. They were down 17-14. They had the ball. They had enough time for a 2-minute drill, but then Sam Howell with a back-breaking interception there. So Kansas City ran the clock out, got a touchdown, got the 10-point win there. Although I felt fine with the handicap. I thought he was able to move the ball. A little annoyed that they kept in Mahomes for that second touchdown drive. I mean, Andy Reid, what are you doing, man? You're a maniac. Yes, he got one drive. He got the touchdown. You don't need that second one. A little crazy there. Pittsburgh Steelers eked out a 16-15 victory over the Jaguars. Mike Tomlin quietly the next Harbaugh here with the nice win and a cover. 15-3 now against the spread. Last 18 for the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Wasn't looking great, honestly. Wasn't looking great. The Steelers were down 15-10. Jags were driving, but then Steelers got an interception. They almost took it to the house. I was like, cut outside. Cut inside, got tackled, but then Mason Rudolph drove him down. Ended up coming down to a 4th and goal play from the 2. Got the touchdown, and then Jags almost had a chance. And, well, they did have a chance. It was like a 58-59-yard field goal for the win. Santoso missed the field goal. So, amazing sweat all around. Shout out to you, Steelers. Thank you for that sweat. As far as the UFC prop, Romanov, he lost outright, which was crazy. I mean, I at the very least, I think he gets a draw for that fight. I was grading it 2-1 decision for Romanov. Seemed like he had control for a majority of the fight. I'd have to look at the advanced stats as far as what they were thinking. I mean, there were a couple times, late second round, he was working to get that choke. There were a couple times he was close. He had the position, just couldn't quite get it in there for the submission. So, again, got the sweat, didn't get the win there. But, I was surprised, really, he lost outright. So, if you had Tybura there as a moneyline dog, that paid out pretty nice. So, congrats to you. UFC 278, I don't know what's going on. I like Joe Rogan as a commentator, but why does he insist on wearing a tie to these events? Every time, it's immediately untied. It reminds me at like every wedding I've gone to with an open bar. It's just the shirt buttons are open, the ties. Like, just don't wear a tie. If you don't want to wear a tied tie, why even wear it? I don't know. Joe Rogan seems to be doing it right for himself, but it was just blowing my mind. What are you doing? Speaking of sports fashion, a bit of a stretch there, but you would look awesome in a Vince Papale autographed jersey, courtesy of our good buddies over at Pristine Auction. All you got to do is go to bettingpros.com/Papale and then submit your review of this show, or either review it on Apple Podcasts or CastBox. Submit it over at bettingpros.com/Papale for your chance to win an autographed Vince Papale jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction, and that thing looks amazing. Again, even if you're not an Eagles fan, you got to be a fan of football. And Vince Papale, just walking on, just real badass move by Vince Papale. Okay, got 2 NFL preseason games and MLB play for you to round out the slate for Sunday. Ravens, of course the Ravens, -5.5, -110 at the Cards. Get that over on win. 21 straight wins. We're going to keep riding this. 18-2-1 in those 21 games against the spread for the Ravens. I still rack my mind at who is betting the Cards. It was up to 6.5. It got bet down to 5.5. I mean, I just don't get it. I know Brett Hundley is no longer with the Ravens, but I think that means more time for Tyler Huntley, who, in my mind, is the best quarterback you're going to see in this game. No Lamar Jackson, no Kyler Murray, by all accounts. And again, the Ravens are just a dominant preseason team. One, they have Justin Tucker, so they have a step up on the kicking game. Two, they have great special teams, which really matters in these early preseason games. And again, the Ravens' backup quarterbacks fit the scheme. Like, they play well. And Huntley is, I think he's a guy that could be a starter in the league. Maybe like even bottom 5 starter. So I really like what I've seen out of Huntley so far. I really like what I've seen out of the Ravens defense in preseason. And again, the Ravens roster, I'm high on the Ravens in the season, and they have a ton of depth. So, and again, I mean, I could talk, I could talk for the entire show about different reasons why I like the Ravens. I like them because they won 21 games in a row. Let's get real. Bengals at Giants over on DraftKings. It's Giants -5.5. I'm going with the Giants here, -110 on DraftKings. You're not going to hear me picking the Giants a lot against the spread this season, unless they do the smart thing and make Tyrod Taylor the starter. Tyrod, I think, again, is going to be the best quarterback you'll see in this game, and he looked really good in the first preseason game, 62%, 129 yards, and a touchdown. Again, he's probably a guy who actually should be a starter in the league, certainly over Daniel Jones, and by all accounts, he's even been, getting some first-team reps. And Dable, he's been going back and forth as to how much he's going to play the starters because they have some offensive line injuries. I don't think that's going to preclude them from playing Tyrod Taylor, and I think they want to really see what they have in Tyrod Taylor. Again, this coaching staff is not committed to Daniel Jones at all. The organization declined his 5th-year option, so don't be surprised if Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback sooner rather than later for the New York Giants. And Giants as well. Antonio Williams, running back, not a household name by any means, but he was 9 for 61, got a touchdown as well. They won but did not cover against the Pats in game 1. I think they win and get the cover here. The Bengals really don't seem up for any sort of major preseason action. Zach Taylor plans to sit most of his starters, which makes sense. Again, they're the Bengals. They don't need this and they don't really have a bunch of crazy camp battles they're looking to shake out. Bengals gave up 36 points in their first game in preseason against the Cards backups there. So I don't know what kind of defense they'll be playing. Zach Taylor 2-6 straight up. So again, a lot of reasons pointing to the Giants. So give me the Giants -5.5, -110 over on DraftKings. Last pick of the night, and your pick for apps that help you make money, Betting Pros. That's right. If you haven't downloaded the Betting Pros app, I mean, what are you doing? And come on, Betting Pros hooks you up. This podcast is free. The app is free. They have so much great information, content, expert picks, consensus picks, all for free. They really set you up and give you a ton of information to make the right bets. Download the Betting Pros app, App Store and Google Play Store. What are you doing? Come on, get it together. Download that app. It's free. Last pick of the Sunday slate. Going back to old reliable. No, not the Orioles run line. No, not the Dodgers run line. It is the Padres run line, -1.5, -125 at the Nats. And I'll get through all of it, but it's just about fading the Nats pitcher, Patrick Corbin. I almost feel bad for this guy. The Padres have really, really underperformed at home in this series against the Nats so far. Sunday's game is a great spot for them to get right. They got Sean Mania going on the hill. Again, not a Cy Young pitcher by any means, but better whip, ERA, and win-loss than our poor buddy Patrick Corbin. I love fading this guy. Even last time we faded him at home, the Cubs got the miracle run line cover in extra innings. It wasn't even Corbin's fault, but his last 3 road starts, 17 earned runs, 5.4 innings pitched, and his last 2 road starts, he didn't make it out of the first inning. So the fact that this is just -1.5, -125 for a desperate Padres team, at home, afternoon game, it is just a great spot. I mean, I'm going to auto-fade Patrick Corbin on the run line from now until the rest of the season, but I think the desperate Padres team is why you're getting this reduced price, so it's a great spot there. So, in summary, Padres run line -1.5, -125. Giants, I know, it's gross. I don't feel great about it. I mean,
that is a disgusting act.
Joe Buck chiming in on me picking the Giants. As an Eagles fan, it hurts, but it's the right play. -5.5, -110 over on DraftKings. And last play, I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Of course I'm going to give out the Ravens. -5.5, -110 at the Cards. And you know what? Let's make that interesting. Let's make that a 2-unit play. Maybe I will finally break the Ravens streak by making it a 2-unit play, but Ravens -5.5, -110. Let's put 2 units on it. They're the Ravens. It's preseason. Let's go. Hey, make sure you head over to BetMGM. Use our promo code JUICE150. Get that risk-free $1,000 bet. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, Sports Gambling Podcast, 32 individual NFL team betting preview, 1 episode per team. They're all about 45 minutes to an hour long. I mean, once you start talking NFL, you cannot stop. And hey, you know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.